the man, he's the myth, he's the legend, he's the scientist with all the answers and all the questions. It's time for another episode of Alex's Science Corner.
Thank you. Oh, please, no, thank you.
It's because you're worth it. Alex, what's going on in the wide, wide world of science, my friend?
All right, so first up is researchers believe they've determined where the vast majority of the Martian dust comes from. After years of studying the dust on the various rovers that we've put down on the planet and the other landers that we've had down, they found that the dust has a very, very similar chemical composition no matter where on the planet they look at it. So after studying the planet for a while, they found there's this ancient volcanic feature called the Medusa Fossae, which is on the equator, and it's this massive volcanic formation that looks like it was formed about 3.5 to 4 billion years ago.
That's all. Huh?
Yeah, that's
billion.
all. Yeah,
with a B.
Yeah, billion with a B. Yeah. So that's about the time that the Earth formed, too, approximately, a little bit after, a little after that. So anyway, this formation has eroded, and they found that the dust from this formation has spread across the whole planet. And so that's the dust that we see all over Mars.
A meteorite hit the Earth, hit this radio station, dust from this place went to Mars. That's got to explain where the dust came from.
Thank you, our station
By
engineer.
the way, before you guys leave, could you clean up this place a little bit?
I'd like to thank our station engineer for joining in on that conversation there.
Those are some old dust bunnies, maybe.
And I'm wondering how I'm going to be editing that for the podcast.
He keeps us on the air.
He does.
He does. So that's going to be staying on there so that we can...
But again, go on about this dust.
Right. So the dust, again, it's come from one location on Mars. Now, the location is the size, originally was the size of the United States, or about half the size of the United States. Now it's about 20, it's eroded down to like 20% the size of the United States. But that's where the vast, vast majority of the dust that is spread across Mars is from.
One little spot. Wow.
Well, one little spot, half the size of the United States.
Yeah, but in proportion to the size of Mars, it's a little spot.
True, but it's also not, Mars is also smaller than the Earth is, so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought it was bigger.
No, Mars is smaller than the Earth.
Okay.
Venus is about the same size. Next up is, it was supposed to launch today, but it's going to be launching next week. It's the Parker Solar Probe. The Parker Solar Probe is going to be a spacecraft we're launching that is going to be coming the closest, it's going to be the closest man-made object that's going to approach the sun. Let me try that again in English. This is going to be a probe that's going to approach the sun closer than any other man-made object has ever approached the sun. It's actually going to go through the outer solar atmosphere.
Now, didn't they have one that crashed into it? They purposely crashed one into it not too long
In
ago.
the sun?
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure there's some probe that has gone into the sun, but that was going to be dying, or that was dead before it even came close.
Right, but I thought they purposely had sent probes into the sun.
No, they're not going to send probes into the sun because one of the challenges is the reason why they're doing this probe is they're hoping to get close enough to get the atmosphere readings. But when you're that close, obviously the sun is hot. And... yeah, I know.
Is it? Wow.
I'm glad I told you while you were sitting down because you looked stunned and surprised.
Thank you. I'm strapped to the chair now.
Yeah. So they've finally gotten the technology for a heat shield good enough that they can get the probe close enough to the sun and still be able to protect the instruments when it goes through the orbit. Now they're expecting it to have 24 orbits around the sun. After that, they're going to see how much fuel they have left to see if they can do a few more orbits after that.
Would they try to bring it back, or would
Oh,
it not?
no. Eventually, it's going to break apart in orbit because what's going to happen is when the fuel runs out, it's not going to be able to keep the shield facing the sun.
Oh, okay.
And then when the shield is not facing the sun's going to rip it apart.
Gonna get cooked.
Yeah, it's going to get cooked big time.
Okay.
So, but they're expecting to get the first data about 3.5 months from now. So that's going to be some of the fastest data.
That's pretty quick. I was
Yeah.
really surprised.
But they're going to have this probe. It's going to go through the outer corona, and one of the things they're hoping to try and figure out is why the atmosphere of the sun is hotter than the sun itself. So that's one of the
Why
reasons
the atmosphere is hotter than the
surface of the sun. Right. The corona, which is kind of the atmosphere of the sun, is hotter than the surface of the sun.
And how do they know that without being able to have...
Well, they've got other instruments. We've got a bunch of other solar probes that have been able to detect the temperature.
determine that. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now they're hoping to send a probe in closer so that they can try and get more readings and see if they can figure out why that's happening. They've got suspicions, but until they've got more information, at the moment it's just suspicions.
Okay.
All right. Anything else to add?
I'm good.
All right.
Unless we can get some other guests to come in and just say a few words.
I think you lost your mojo during that bit, and I feel bad. All right. If you have any questions about these stories or anything else science-related, feel free to call Alex right now at 203
837
9924.